Most children in India grow up listening to stories of different gods, goddesses, and their avatars, bodily forms. Whether it be Shiva, Vishnu, or the Devi, there are different scriptures that cater solely to that particular god or goddess and tell stories about their miracles. These scriptures are called Puranas in Vedic literature. The word Purana or Puran is made up of two words, Pura, town, and Nava, new. The literal meaning of Purana is the knowledge which is new in town. And even though these stories are quite old, the knowledge that we derive from their symbolism works in our day-to-day lives as well. So, check out the following Shiva stories to find out the hidden symbolism that you may not have heard before. The story of Shiva Linga. At the beginning of creation, the energies of Brahma and Vishnu were born. After they came to be, both energies were curious as to who they were and why were they born. Suddenly, they saw a pillar of light that continued vertically and seemed to be endless. So, both Brahma and Vishnu decided to find out who they are, and they should first find out what is this pillar of light / energy. Brahma decided to go upwards to find out the head, and Vishnu decided to go downwards to locate the feet. They both kept going on, but it seemed that this pillar of light was infinitely long. After one point in time, they both decided to return to where they had started. When they came back, Brahma and Vishnu shared that this pillar was endless. That pillar was denoted as the Shiva Tattva energy and the origin of Shiva. It was also the origin of Shiva Lingam, the symbolic manifestation of the Shiva Tattva. Even today, a Shiva Linga can be found in every Shiva temple. This Shiva Linga denotes that the Shiva energy is endless. There is no shape to it, and it is all-pervading in every atom and particle of the universe. So, Shiva is the tattva or essence of which the universe is made up of, and a Shiva Linga is a symbolic presence of that infinite nature of Shiva. How Goddess Parvati became Goddess Annapoorna. When Lord Shiva got married to Goddess Parvati and they first came to Kailasha, she found out that all Shiva Ganesha, devotees of Lord Shiva living in Kailasha, were used to living in their ways and being in their bliss. Some would meditate, some would do their work, and some would be busy doing some other form of sadhanas, spiritual practices. And Shiva himself would always be in meditation. Everyone lived the life of a yogi, ascetic. Nobody cared for grooming, hygiene, and even food. They were all living the bachelor's life. Goddess Parvati saw all of this and was quite surprised. To change it, she first decided to set up a kitchen. She materialized different utensils and formed a kitchen, and then started asking the Ganesha for raw materials and other things required to cook food. The Ganesha objected that they did not need a kitchen, as they were used to eating raw fruits and kandamula, roots and mushrooms. The Ganesha were not happy with the change in things, but Goddess Parvati insisted on making cooked food for everyone. As the cooking started, it brought up different noises. The grumbling of Ganesha and cooking noises ended up disturbing Lord Shiva's meditation as well. When he came to see what was happening, even Lord Shiva felt that there was no need for a kitchen. When he expressed his wish of not having a kitchen to Goddess Parvati, she asked, "Are you sure?" "Yes, I am sure," replied Shiva. "Okay, we will see," said Goddess Parvati and left that place. Goddess Parvati is the embodiment of Prakriti creation and is manifest of all the things that we can see, smell, touch, and feel. As soon as she left, an aroma of cooked food started permeating the Kailasha, making all the Ganesha feel hungry. As they started feeling the pangs of hunger, even Shiva started feeling the same, because a lord feels what his devotees are feeling. For the second time, Shiva's meditation was disturbed as he was surprised to notice the hunger rise in him. He checked with the Ganesha and found out that everyone was feeling hungry. But when they went to the kitchen, they realized that it was empty of all food. Lord Shiva is the embodiment of compassion. Since his devotees were hungry, He went out of Kailasha in search of Goddess Parvati, as it was only her who could quench their hunger. After searching the entire creation, the Lord found the goddess in Kashi. Taking the form of Vishwanath, god of earth, he went to Goddess Parvati and asked for food for his devotees. The goddess was also compassionate and took the form of goddess Annapoorna. After assuming that form, she gave all the food to Lord Shiva, who distributed it to all the Ganesha and other beings in the universe. This story is depicted in the Annapoorna Ashtakam, and from that comes a mantra which is often recited before consuming food. Why Ganesha's head was chopped off by Shiva. After Goddess Parvati created Ganesha, she went to take a bath and put Ganesha in charge of manning the door, asking him to not let anyone in. When Shiva came to meet Parvati, Ganesha did not recognize that Shiva was his father and did not let him in. Shiva cajoled and argued with Ganesha, but it was to no avail. In anger, Shiva chopped off his head. Goddess Parvati, upon realizing what had happened, became grief-stricken by the death of her younger son. She prayed to Lord Shiva to make it right. The other deities searched the universe for a solution and found an elephant who had sought a boon to be born as the son of Lord Shiva. That elephant's head was taken and placed on Ganesha's torso, and from there, the god with the elephant head was born. This story is quite popular and told to every child growing up in India. However, there is a deep symbolism in this story that is often missed. Lord Shiva is the embodiment of Paramananda, eternal formless bliss, and Goddess Parvati is the embodiment of Jiva, the body form. The union of Shiva and Parvati could not happen because of the ego Ganesha. It was the ego whose identification with only the body form in the world did not allow it to recognize the infinite bliss. This identification is called avidya, or ignorance of the self. Because there was no knowledge, Ganesha could not identify the Shiva. It is then that the ego is destroyed by the bliss. With the prayer of Jiva, when the mind is filled with knowledge, it is then able to recognize the bliss element, and the union of Jiva and Shiva is complete. There are numerous stories like these in the different Puranas, and there is deep symbolism associated with every one of them. Tales for the Young and Old is one book by Acharya Ratnananda, which consists of these stories along with their symbolic meaning.